That portal is open for all of the month of August. And this is where the divine, every August the 8th, sends us this energy, so that we can create, so that we can, any projects, anything that you want to change in your life, anything that you want to start, whatever it is, if you've just discovered and starting to venture into the unlimited nature of your spiritual existence, this is a great time to kind of get all the assistance you need with that. Healing. This energy is tremendously healing. This is where we get a pass. I always say you must do the work. And even with this energy, you must do it as well. But it'll come in and it'll help you out. And so if you're this month feeling like certain things are just bubbling and memories come back that you that weren't so kind when they occurred, that's because your belly brain, that's the seat of your emotions. See, when you have all kinds of things that you hold on to, that you don't let go of, that you should let go of, that you suppress, let's just say that's the word, that's the psychological term for that. We suppress and we hold on to these things and we bury them deep. You know where you're burying them? In the stomach, in the energetic stomach. The stomach is the seat of your emotions. It is where the feelings are derived. And so your emotions speak to you through feelings. So if you're getting things coming up that you've held on to that's not pleasant, it is because that energy is reminding you, hey, we're here to help. Let it go. And then you just sit down and you just allow it to flow. Right? You allow it to flow. And whatever feelings comes, you accept them and you let them flow, because you must feel them slightly. You must feel that energy leave for it to be able to leave. So don't suppress it because it's a feeling you don't want to feel. Okay? Because it's like holding on to a bag of shit, and instead of throwing it out when the garbage man comes, you put it in the basement, expecting it to be okay and that you're going to forget about it. But that smell lingers because it's a bag of shit. So now the garbage man is here. Not just the garbage man, more than that. And now you can just go, hey, here's the stuff, and let it go. This energy is great for that. Letting things go. And every month you get a chance to do that anyway. During the moon. But this is an extra boost. Right? This is an extra boost. We get to do that on full moons every month. The law of rhythm allows us to release. The full moon, after the full moon comes, the full moon is for releasing. Right? For releasing. And then you have the moon wanes, and when things are waning, meaning they're going down, leaving, that's when it's a good time to release. Then the new moon comes, great time to bring things in. And then it starts to wax, and it starts to build up. Great. This is how rhythm works on the planet. Every single plant, every single animal responds to that. But because we have a higher level of consciousness, we can choose to ignore it or not to ignore it. I encourage you to listen to nature. And I encourage you to go with the law of rhythm, because no one gets to bypass the law of rhythm. No one. Right? And so knowing the law of rhythm is knowing how to get things done easily. Easily. Right? So we want to be able to be swimming with the slipstream, not going against it, right? We don't want to be doing that. And we are always encouraged to do that at our own peril, because those who think they control the world want you to be going west, thinking that's east, and going east, thinking that's west, going up, thinking that's down, and you could be running all your life as hard as you can, and you could put everything into it. You could be all positive about it. But if you're going west looking for a sunrise, it doesn't matter how hard you're trying to do that. You will never find it, because the sunrise is east. So part of this reality and this sick reality that we live in, not the earth, she's wonderful and beautiful. We're talking about the reality that we're now here to transform, will always have inverted systems in it. That's why you must unplug from it. Because what should be up is down, and what should be east is west. What should be in is out, and you're always trying to figure something out. No, you're not going to figure out playing by the rules of this reality. Right? The trick is to get you to keep looking out there. Right? That's the trick. Because then they can rope you into their inverted systems, their governments, their churches, their warped schools and such. All right, I have a question. I have a dream question. Go ahead and ask it. Yeah, everything is opposite. So you wanna bypass all of that tomfoolery and trickster stuff by going within, by dealing with the divine and what it sends to you, like this 888 portal. How do you connect to it? From right in here, because you listen to that kind, loving, sweet voice of your higher self, the kind, loving, gentle, sweet voice of the divine, and it'll speak to you through ideas. Maybe this month there's an idea that came up, but it was just an idea. But you see, if you are aware of the energy here and you're aware of what's going on, then you know that it's not just an idea. And you take action on it. This is why it's super important to know yourself and to know stuff. Just don't go willy-nilly, blissfully ignorant in life. Because ignorance is not bliss. That's a term that many use. I don't hear it much today, but when I was growing up as a kid, I used to hear it a lot. Ignorance is not bliss. Not wanting to know what is going on is not bliss. Because whether you know about it or not, it's going to have an effect on you. But if you know about it, then you can affect what is going on. You can be, because, let's see, has that question come up yet? No. I don't have my glasses on, so it's not as easy to see them. Yeah, then they weren't serious then, if they're gone. Please share and like the live so that those who might want to participate in something like this, it gets out to them. It gets out to them. So in life, you have those people that do things, or it's just one of the laws of the universe. There's always, whenever something happens, no matter what it is, I don't care, there is nothing that is outside of this. Nothing. And that is, whenever something happens, there is a cause and an effect as a result of that cause. I repeat, whenever something happens, there is a cause for it, and the thing that happens is the effect of that cause. So when you put yourself in the position of knowing what is going on, particularly from a spiritual level, not from what you see on social media, not just that, because sometimes you get stuff there too, and not just from what you see on the news, what people say, but from deep within, where you develop a relationship with yourself so that your spirit can speak to you and you hear and you're not confused as to who's talking. That requires you to do some work. I'll get into that a little bit later. So when you are connected within, then you're not just subject to the crap going on outside and the things that you hear from the outside, from which most of the time you don't even know if it's true or false. But when you know what is going on pretty much in your reality, because that's the only reality you should be paying attention to, the things that are in your life, then you can become not just an effect of things that are happening, but you also can become a causer. And you want to be the causer in almost anything that happens. Because when you're the causer, you're in control of it, of the whole situation. But when you're in the effect, when you are the effect, when you're experiencing what something that someone else has done, then you are a little less more in control of the end result. And that's part of the universal law the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. No one is above that law. No one. I don't care how advanced your consciousness is. Your choice is to become a causer or to become the effect of whatever is causing stuff to happen. You want to become a causer. So when you start capitalizing on energies, when you start working with the law of rhythm, because essentially this is when people talk about Lionsgate, they get excited about it. It's actually pointing to where the flow of life is going, and you always want to keep with the flow of life. So right now the flow of life is saying, hey, you want to do something special? You want to do something? You want to correct something? You want to, whatever you want to do? Hey, I'm with you. I'll be behind you. I'll be the wind behind your sails. You just need to put it out and start taking action, and we'll be the wind behind your sail. And once you, in an energy like this, the Lionsgate, once you do that, and once you get that wind behind you, after August, it still stays. It doesn't go. Because you've worked it into whatever it is that you're doing. And the assistance is always there from that energy. And so this year is really special because it has the 888 behind it. Because the Lionsgate is the 8th month of the year, August, on the 8th day. So it's usually a double 8. 8 of the 8. This year, because 2024 is an 8 year, it's the 888. So you've got 8th of August, 8/8, 2024. An 8 year. It's an 8 year because in numerology, when you add it up, 2024, you have 2, plus 0 is 2, then plus 2 is 4, and then plus 4 is 8. That's how you add it up in numerology, making it the 888, making it even more powerful in your favor. And you must start using these energies, because the people who you vote for, the people who are doing all the things that they're doing, that some of you don't like, they're using this stuff. They're using this energy. This energy doesn't discriminate. But if the majority of you, us, use it, we outweigh whatever it is the super minority do who think they control the planet. The ones that are causing the wars and the genocide and the stuff that we don't want, but it still happens even though we don't want it. How do they do it? This is how they do it. They know about the law of rhythm and how it works. And it's really simple. If you want to always be in line with the law of rhythm, you just watch what is going on in nature. Just watch what is going on in nature. Just pay attention to the energies coming down here and start working with them. And when you work with them, this is when they're most powerful. When you work with them for your highest good and you consider the highest good of others, see, this is the key. You are not going to maximize this energy being selfish, only about you. When you use it and you're creating let's say you're creating a business, let's say you're creating a conscious business, and yeah, you want to be prosperous. You want to have all the money and wealth and everything you need. Nothing wrong with that. But then in the back of your mind, you want all of that so you can be prosperous and so that you can help others and so you can help the planet, so you can contribute to causes that are going to enhance humanity, enhance the every form of life here on Earth. And when you have that as a genuine part of the energy, as a genuine part of your mindset, that's when the energy is most powerful. That's when the energy is most powerful. And indeed, these energies, as time is going on, the more selfish we become, the less availability we will have to them. So those who, like I say, who who think they're controlling this planet, they're not, because these energies are becoming less and less available to them and more available to you. But you must be aware and you must participate in them and with them. Right? Every year this energy comes in. And so there are other energies that come in on a regular basis. I mentioned the moon. This is some of you, I'm going to talk about the moon. But I know that some people, I'm not sure if some of you here, you talk about, oh, the moon is fake, and you hear all these stories, it's not real, and this and that, and the sun's fake, and you've got all these people, and you listen to them, nothing's real, nothing's important. They're what I call, and this is a real word, nihilists. Nihilism, that is a term, I think it's spelled Nihilism. Nihilism, and all it means is, you have these people walking around telling you that nothing matters. You don't matter. The world, nothing matters. Don't listen to those fools. Do not get lost in their delusion. Leave them to their own delusions. You matter, and so does everything else here. Leave them to their delusions. Because if it didn't matter, why didn't they just end it all at the day of birth? All right? It does matter. You do matter. And so don't listen to those people, because they are robots. Most of them are probably not even real people, if you know what I mean. So it does matter to know how things work. Let's talk about the moon, right? Whether you think the moon is real or not, the moon is very important. If all you do is use it to know when to do certain things and when they're in your favor. And so I'm going to have you take this on as a very small task. And this will give you more power than you could ever imagine. First thing first, though, when you use the energy and powers of nature, you must be in a benevolent state of mind, meaning you are not practicing any kind of wickedness to do shit against other people or other things. I'm not interested in your cause if that's the mentality that you have. And I will make sure that if you get this information, you use this for that it backfires on you. Because we're sick and tired on this planet of people just chopping each other down. And no longer is that going to be tolerated. Pretty soon, that is not going to be tolerated because of the age of Aquarius, where you will be known for who you are. And there's no hiding in the background. People will see everyone and everything for who they are. And we might as well start being benevolent, authentic, and throwing out the garbage that causes your mind to stay in the negative set of things, a negative mindset. So I'm just taking that as a warning. Do not use this information to go to work against others, or to control and to become malevolent on this planet. We've had enough of that. Just look around, see all the stuff that's happening. Now, let's get back to the point after that little caveat warning. Thank you. So, when you should use the moon. If you think the moon is fake, you can still use it. Right? Because all you're going to use the moon for is to know where the law of rhythm is pointing, so that you can be in alignment with the best things to do at the particular time. So when the moon is waxing, when the moon is waning, the moon wanes after the full moon, right? Meaning the full moon then goes back and goes down, and works its way back to the new moon, right? To get to the new moon, the moon must wane, go down, make space for the new moon that's coming. During that time, if you've got a cell phone, you just simply need to put in waning moon, waxing moon. Oh, you don't know what the moon's doing? What phase is the moon in right now? The phase, because when I'm talking about waxing and waning and all that, it's the moon phase. So if you go, what phase is the moon in? It'll tell you. And when the moon is waning, that's when it's time to get rid of stuff. You want to move to a new home? Best time to do it is when the moon is waning. You are releasing the old and you want to bring in the new. You want to, inner work, you can do that all the time. Releasing things and letting go of things, you can do that at any time. But when the moon is waning, it is releasing the old, making room for the new. So that's when you are supported in getting rid of emotional baggage and all of that. You want to start something new and you've got some of the old stuff still hanging around. That's the best time to kind of just get rid of it. To make room for the new when the moon is waning. So I'm sure you get the picture by now. If you have any questions, just post them up about that. So that when the new moon comes, you have room to bring in the new. Right? And then when the moon is waxing, that's when you want to be bringing in stuff. The new stuff. You get rid of the whole furniture when it's in the waning, and you bring in the new furniture when it's waxing. You adding. One is for adding and the other is for subtracting. And you get to do this every month. And you get to do this every month. Every month. Your body does it every month. Right, ladies? The moon cycle? What is happening on the 28th day, which is the cycle of the moon is every 28 days. What is happening? The body releases the old egg that was not fertilized and brings in the new. Is that not nature? So you simply need to follow nature. And during that time, you can do a lot of stuff because you are very powerful during that time, ladies. You are very powerful during that time. So you can study up on how to use that particular time of the month, because that's when you're most open to your spiritual side, to the divine. But you know, in this reality, we have cursed that with all kinds of names. And what's mostly related to the moon cycle are negative things like cramps, which are real, right? I've never had a menstrual cramp, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about it in that way, but I've seen women that have suffered from very, very horrible menstrual cramps and things of that nature. But that's what it's associated with. But there are cures for that. And that's not supposed to be, by the way, that's not normal. It's common, it happens, and we accept it as normal, but the menstrual cycle is not meant to be a time of pain and suffering. It's not. And that's one of the things that's also going. As we become more awakened to the true reality and withdraw and unplug from the false reality, we'll start to get rid of that stuff. Right? So you can use the moon to know where to direct your activities. And the more benevolent you are, and the more kind, benevolent, loving, caring you are, the more powerful that energy becomes. Right? And okay, the Spirit wants me to spend a little more time on the menstrual cycle to shift the mentality that is behind it, and maybe it's because it's going to be helpful to a couple of people here. That's why Spirit wants me to talk about it. So, what's that? Oh yeah, I'll be cautious. That's right. Energy flow. She's in the other room. She's saying to me, be careful on how I say things. So I'm going to be very careful. So if I say things and I don't say certain things, and just, if you know, you know, right? But you should know. Because it's not going to be complex, not rocket science. So when we talk about, first of all, what's the cycle about? It's about life. Every 28 days. That cycle, that moon cycle, is the cycle of life, is it not? Before life gets here. Because life has a cycle before it gets here and has a cycle after it gets here. Right? And we don't have to go through what that cycle is. You're living it. And so when we talk about bloodlines, think about it. The bloodline comes through the portal of the womb. And every month, if you think about it, bloodline, what comes at the moon cycle? The bloodline shows up even in the physical through the portal of life. And we call that the moon cycle. It comes out of the portal, which is known as the yoni, Sanskrit word, for the female reproductive system. And that word yoni means sacred space. Look it up. So the minute you shift your mindset to that being a sacred space, then a certain kind of energy will come in to replace whichever one that's there, but that doesn't belong. So you should always see that as a sacred space. So maybe when you see it as a sacred space, you won't ignore it, and it just won't be used for two things, and that's it, and then you forget about it. The only time you think about it is when you want to go to the bathroom and for something else. There's more to it than that. Those two things are legit, by the way, but there's more to it than that, and that is what needs to be brought in. The minute you see that part of you as sacred, because it's the bringer of life, is it not? It nurtures it, brings it from the bloodline into the reality. then you start to think, then you start to bring in a different energy. Then things will start to come suddenly, like practices to heal that sacred space on a spiritual level. Because many, many women have been injured in that space, and not just in this lifetime, in previous lifetimes. Then ideas of how to heal that yoni space will start to come into the mind. And when it does, it's not a mistake. If it hasn't already happened for some of you, maybe you'll have a practice to heal that section, that part. And in our community, which I'm going to make an announcement pretty soon, in our spiritual community, which we're opening up soon, I'm going to announce a date right after this. We're going to have a space for the yoni, how to take care of it, how to heal it, and get rid of energies, techniques that you can use, right? Energy flow is going to be in charge of that, because yeah, I might know it, but I'm a man, right? Nothing wrong with that, because I also have a mother and I also have female ancestors. So for me, I'm just as my interest in it is vested, because my female ancestors, which are within me, they need me to venerate that space too, even though I have the other kind of thing going on down there. Right? So, but it needs to be a woman that does it. Right? And I might come in and chime in with some things or whatever, but it has to be a woman that's in charge, and she will be.